Welcome to the ProfitLed podcast, where we discover proven growth strategies for bootstrapped entrepreneurs from the people who have done it before to help you accelerate your business. The ProfitLed podcast is brought to you by eWebinar, the leading automated webinar platform, which could save you from doing the same webinar over and over again. From sales demos to onboarding to training, eWebinar turns any video into an interactive webinar that you can set on a recurring schedule or make available on demand, which means you can do hundreds of webinars without ever needing to actually be there to host them live. This podcast is a forum for the unsung heroes of SaaS, the founders and others behind bootstrapped startups who are creative and resourceful enough to forge a pathway to success. Here is where they get to share everything they learned along the way, so you can benefit from their experience and find success in your own ventures too.
Welcome to ProfitLed, the podcast for bootstrap entrepreneurs looking to make it happen. My name is Melissa Kwan. I'm the co-founder and CEO of eWebinar and your host. Today's guest is the founder of MusicForPets, a company that's been making relaxing music and TV for cats and dogs since 2011. When my friend Aaron Cohen, founder of Founder Fridays from New York, knew I was starting this podcast, he immediately said, "You need to talk to my friend Amman. His company is genius and it's 100% bootstrapped." So of course, who doesn't want to talk to the guy who started Netflix for pets? It's one of those things you hear about and you're like, man, I wish I came up with that. So here we are today with my special guest, Amman Ahmed from MusicForPets. Hey, Amman, how's it going?
Yeah, good. A little bit jet lagged, but yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. What drink did you bring with you today?
Boring water. Water with ice.
Water with ice.
Sparkling water, though.
But why did you choose to bring that?
I have to be very conscious. I'm trying to drink 3 liters to 3.5 liters a day of water. So it's just part of a wider food program thing that I'm on.
Awesome.
Yeah, just educating myself as much as possible about nutrition and everything else. Yeah.
Well, water is the elixir of life. Well, I, on the opposite, brought this pineapple sparkling lemonade, which I guess says on the can that it's from Suriname originally, which is a country on the northeastern Atlantic coast of South America. So I'm in Amsterdam right now, and I guess Suriname used to be a Dutch colony, and I just picked this up in the supermarket next door. All right, so I'm going to open this now for some ASMR magic.
I might as well pour my water.
I'm going to pour this into my... All right, cheers. Cheers.
I can see why people have ASMR. It's definitely quite a relaxing sound.
You can listen to this over and over again.
Exactly.
All right, Amman. Well, the first time we talked, there were 2 things that jumped out at me about your story. The first was how you had a company that was venture funded before, which led you to bootstrap this company. And the second was the fact that you're actually a solo, non-technical founder. So I'm sure a lot of people hearing that right now is very jealous. So today I want to unpack those 2 things a little bit more. So why don't we start with a brief intro of yourself and what MusicForPets is?
Yeah, as you said, I guess MusicForPets is pretty much turned into Netflix for pets. We create relaxing music and TV to help cats and dogs that are left home alone, to ease their anxiety. And we have 2 brands, RelaxMyDog and RelaxMyCat. And yeah, been doing this for 10 years now. 10 years, so it's a grind. In a good way. I love it. I love the freedom it's given me, for sure.
So how many cats and dogs have you relaxed to date? Do you have any idea?
I know last year we had 50 million unique.
Wow. So
just using that data, we know that I guess 50 million cats and dogs have used our content. And we have a success rate of 87%. So I guess if you do the math, then 87% are happy of that 50 million. Yeah.
How do you measure success rate? What do you consider success rate for your customers?
We do surveys all the time. We always get a good sample size of 10,000 votes or 10,000 pieces of data and all this stuff on YouTube and everywhere else. So we know that, we know simple questions like, is RelaxMyDog working? And 87% generally say yes. So it's been kind of consistent around that. 87, 86% was maybe our lowest. It's always been around that area. Yeah.
It's kind of unfair though, right? Because dogs never complain. The 20% is cats.
The funny thing is, yeah, exactly. I think it's more the owners. I think once the owners see change in behavior, then they're like, okay, something's working. So
yeah, that's pretty interesting. So you had a previous company that you raised venture capital for. Can you tell us a little bit more about like what that company was and why you chose to raise capital for it?
So Rawmix was kind of like a Vivo, a music discovery platform for independent artists. And we were kind of on the lower end of, up and coming content rather than Vivo is like the major stuff. We created like a discovery engine in there. So it allowed people to, I guess, discover music and then look at their tastes and make more suggestions and all that stuff. So yeah, it was doing well. The reason why I raised money, A, because monetization was a bit further down the line, and B, because it was cool. Like, you're not successful if you don't raise money, right? That's what I was made to believe. Because when you constantly open up TechCrunch or whatever it is, so-and-so raised, so I just thought my only route to success is raising. And, raising and then exiting. So I just assumed that's what everyone does. So you just do that. And then, went down the route of decks and pitching and it's an interesting journey for sure.
Yeah, I also fell victim to that when I moved to New York. I actually talked about that in the first episode of this podcast where I moved to New York. Everybody was asking me, how much are you raising? Who do you need to get connected to? And then it kind of made me feel like that's what I needed to do because everybody else was doing it. And then of course, you read about your friends on TechCrunch and you're like, oh, I kind of want to be on there as well. But it's definitely a different path. So what was it like for you running a venture-backed company?
Slow. You have co-founders, you have VCs, you have angels. I think we had a bit of bridge financing as well. So you have to explain to everyone, do board meetings, board minutes. It just takes you away from the reason why you built the business in the first place, I'd say. You're just doing like people stuff. And for me, it just got to a point where I just kind of I felt like I was answering to other people. And I felt like I had to take on board the ideas of my VC or even my angels. I just thought, okay, one of my angels built $1 billion company. So clearly he must know what's right. And I'm the stupid one, so I need to listen to him. And also I kind of feel guilty because he's giving me money, so I should really take his advice on board. So all these little things where I was people-pleasing a lot. And that's because they kind of had me because they gave me the money. So, and then on top of that, you're pitching for the next round. You're speaking to more VCs, more angels, constantly doing pitches, doing awards, doing competitions, etc., and you waste a lot of time.
Yeah. I mean, was that why you wanted to bootstrap this company instead?
I mean, the reason why I wanted to bootstrap this company was, I think for me, was just kind of experiencing what I had with the VC. I felt like just VCs just slowed me down. Mm-hmm. And bootstrapping this company was like, okay, it's a side hustle. It's not making that much money, but I know I can turn it into a multi-million-dollar business all by myself. And I just have the clarity and like, okay, how do I cut out all the layers and just do it myself as quickly as possible? And I think the bootstrapping maybe came out of frustration to kind of be like, I can do this myself. And I don't need anyone's opinions now. It's all me. And that's kind of where I'm allowed to swear, by the way. I just realized I swore.
Yes.
Okay. Then it was just one of those things where I just felt like I had complete control. Mm-hmm. That's what I wanted, complete control of my destiny, over how I build my business.
Yeah.
And that was it. Running a business like a democracy is, just keep it real, you're going to fail. There's no democracies in businesses.
What happened to that other company? Did you exit that one or shut it down and start this one? Or what was that transition?
It kind of failed to raise money, which I think it got really frustrating because I remember I was in talks with Evan Spiegel, the founder of Snapchat. We were going to do a partnership with Snapchat, like an integration partnership, and in talks with P. Diddy's TV network, Revolt TV. We were going to do a partnership with those guys. And there were just so many exciting opportunities on the table, but it was just a struggle to raise the money. I remember being in LA, and one of the biggest talent agencies was running an accelerator program and said, "What you've built is amazing. Move to LA, we'll help you," and all this stuff. And I didn't move to LA. I stayed in Manchester, kind of believing that I want to be a successful company out of Manchester. And it just got to the point where we just ran out of money, and the VCs didn't care. They didn't want to fund. They didn't want to lead the round or any of that stuff. So for me, it just got to a point where I thought, okay, it is what it is. So yeah, it just kind of crumbled in that sense. And then some of the team kind of moved over and helped me relax my dog and relax my cat as a temporary basis until they went and found other jobs. So that's kind of how things went, really. Which was a shame because it was doing well.
Yeah. How did you get the idea for, Relax My Dog, Relax My Cat?
It was a side hustle in the background all the time because I was making money on YouTube and we were making music therapy, I guess, for humans. And then I thought, let me think a little bit ahead because this is going to get so saturated. Everyone goes on YouTube and all this stuff to look for that. So I thought, let me go into the pet space and just knuckle down, and eventually with time we'll get discovered, word of mouth, it'll grow, and that's kind of where we got to on that sense. So it was, the idea kind of came from my music producer Ricardo and a few of my friends saying that sometimes they use relaxation music on their dogs, but we thought, what if we made this more specialized and looked into frequencies and visuals and all that stuff. And that's how we went into music and TV for dogs and cats. And yeah, we just kind of just grew from there through just experimenting and iterations and all that stuff. So that's kind of where we got to. So that's how we came with the idea.
And what was your goal when you were founding this company? Like, did you want to make it big, or were you like, I just want to build a company to give me this freedom?
For me, it was a company to give me financial freedom. That was it, to give me financial freedom, because I thought, okay, do I want to exit for like a lot of money, or do I want to just have financial freedom? So I think the goal was basically, what lifestyle do I want? And then from there, what company do I want to build around that lifestyle? So do I want to be like Elon Musk and work 1 million hours and be the CEO of 5 different companies and that's it, and just be addicted to working? Or do I want to be, maybe make a few $1 million a year and just chill?
Which is not bad.
Yeah. So I thought, okay, I'd rather just do that.
Yeah.
Because I have complete control. Do I, what is it? There's a level of financial wealth when the happiness scale and having money kind of tips off anyway. So for me, a few $1 million and happiness, or work 100 hours a day to then hopefully IPO and exit and be a billionaire, but just look like, because of all the stress.
I think founders don't ask themselves enough from the beginning, like, what is that lifestyle I want to lead? And then find a business to accommodate that, design a business around that. They always start a business based on their experience or education. And then they try to find happiness. And if that happens, that's great. But I think that's one of the big reasons why people live for weekends and evenings, because they end up doing something they think they have to do, but it doesn't actually fit the lifestyle that they want.
No, exactly. I think, and maybe as founders, we go into this blind as well. There's not many people that have built bootstrapped companies, because if you look on TechCrunch or whatever, the first thing you're going to look at is, I need to work 100 hours a week or a day, and I need to raise millions of dollars. Dude, this is the definition of success. Is this culture of work hard, play hard. And there's none of this, but there's another way of doing things.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a lot of bootstrap companies that just never get the attention. Right? That's why, I wanted to start this podcast. Is like, if 1% of companies are actually venture backed, then 99% of companies are not. Like 99% of the companies are actually bootstrap, profit-led, funded another way, but they never actually get the attention. They never get the spotlight. So I think it's good that like now there's more attention to it. Like more and more people are talking about it now. So you are a solo non-technical founder, right? So, and that's super rare.
I didn't even know that.
Really? Yeah. Like how did you initially get the company off the ground? Like who did you first hire? Like how did that happen? Like how did you get the technical part to your business?
So I think for me, I thought it was monetizing on non-technical assets like YouTube, streaming services, and then to have enough money coming in to be like, okay, let me just hire some freelancers. But just from day one, after I think my introduction to entrepreneurship was Tim Ferriss' The 4-Hour Work Week. So I just thought this is normal. You just hire freelancers and you just build tech. And if you can't afford that level of tech, try to make your product as simple as possible that any techie guy can develop. And that was it for me. It was just, this is normal. This is how you normally build a business. I think as I started to like chat to more people and do talks and like the one that I did in New York at Founders Friday, it was just eye opening. I was like, wow, I'm very, very lucky. Like what I've done in such a rare position to have built a business that I own 100% of, to have gross margins of 60%, to have no co-founders, to own 100%, to have no investors, and to have the magic EBITDA number, as they say. So yeah, then I was like, wow, this is crazy. But I don't know, for me, I just processed it as this is normal. This is how you should do it.
Like you just did it. Like it was just a task that you like. Did you hire a dev shop? Like how did you, or did you need developers, or were most things on YouTube?
I just hired freelance developers. I just built things, and yeah, I'm not a techie guy or anything, but I just learned to understand, I guess, technical stuff. If you gave me a laptop and a blank screen and told me to code, I wouldn't know where to start. I'd actually probably get anxiety from coding. I remember trying at university once and I felt this overwhelming, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I can't even code. But I think I just approach it from a perspective, okay, what do I want and how do I explain that in a simple way? Firstly, how do I map the customer journey? Then how do I explain that to developers? And I just learned over years and years of freelancing that talking to developers for me is you just have to talk to them in a very, very simple way of just zeros and ones. You have to be so specific about everything. And I guess if you spoke to a developer, say in the Western world, they'd find that patronizing. But over in India or wherever, you have to get exactly what you want. And it was just something that I learned over time. I guess I've been using the freelancing websites, Upwork or Elance or whatever it is. Just over time, I just learned how to interview, how to find the right people, and how to like work with the right developers.
Are you still using freelance developers through those sites, or
always?
Really? I want to say that it's super rare to find good developers through the platforms that you had mentioned. Like you're super lucky, or your like communication skills and your interview skills are probably like by far better than anybody.
I think maybe I just learned how to communicate effectively. Maybe working in recruitment. I think one advice to every entrepreneur is go work in sales or go be a recruitment consultant or something that is hardcore sales that is going to really push you, because you learn so many business skills and you also learn how to communicate. And I don't know, if you asked me what is my process of finding the right person, I don't think I'd be able to map it out. I think for me, it's just, I just know maybe how to do it and it's worked so far. So yeah, I think maybe the communication skills.
Like, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges of being a non-technical founder? And how have you overcome some of those things? Hey, I'd like to take a second here to talk about my own company, eWebinar, and our mission to rescue people from what I call webinar hell, to give them back their time and save them literally hundreds of hours every month through webinar automation. If your sales team is tired of doing the same demo over and over for unqualified leads, or worse, prospects who don't even show up, an on-demand demo powered by eWebinar can help them get their time back so they can close more deals. If you're doing customer onboarding and training on repeat, eWebinar can help you automate those so you never have to do them live again. Customer success teams are using eWebinar to run hundreds of sessions every single month without a live host. Why don't you give our product a try and see for yourself? Visit eWebinar.com to join our own on-demand demo or to sign up for a free trial. All right, now that I've gotten that on my system, let's get back to the episode.
I think the biggest challenge for me, I wouldn't even say it's a challenge. For me, it's just normal. In the fact that, okay, I don't understand this, so I need to find the right person to develop it, and just get on with it, and also be realistic that nothing is going to get delivered on time. So let's make some buffers in place so I'm not disappointed. So that's and always have backups in place. So if this person can't develop, you have a backup in place. And I think the challenge was more just, I don't know, even when I built my subscription platform from the ground up, there was no plug and play service for creators to create a subscription platform, especially for there are some out there, but they're $200,000-$300,000 a year. I just built the whole thing myself for $20,000 and I own the code. So that's my intellectual property that can get white labeled. And I don't know, I think because I've been a solo founder for so long, what's a challenge to everyone? I guess it's just normality to me now. So yeah, it's just become whatever.
Going back to your business, initially, like what was your go-to-market strategy? Like how did you get your first 100 customers?
YouTube. I just learned about YouTube algorithm, YouTube marketing, and then just thought, okay, now we need to engage with our customer base as much as possible. Actually, one of the books that I'd say was kind of life-changing in a sense, as well as Tim Ferriss, was Tony Hsieh, the founder of Zappos, Delivering Happiness, one of his books. And he emphasized aggressively on customer service. And I found that really fascinating. And that's something that we emphasize on. It's just we engage with our fan base as much as possible and create these relationships as much as possible. So that's the area that going back to how we got our first I think just genuinely caring about your customers, but in a very open questions. Just open questions. Don't even talk about your product. Just get to know someone as a person. I know it's obviously not very scalable, but it helps create such a core foundation that the user is genuinely blown away when you actually care.
Yeah. But how did you engage with them? Like, is it over YouTube comments or like?
Over YouTube comments, yeah, it was a grind. It was an absolute grind doing the comments.
Yeah. But did they have to pay you, like, or were you just putting out free content on YouTube and then driving them back to a subscription?
We were pumping out free content until YouTube invited me to their monetization program. So then it just kind of scaled from there. Then I became a YouTube music partner. And then, always had an account manager and all that stuff. So that's kind of where we got to on that front. But even still, my team to this day engage with our fan base as much as possible.
But you've got your own subscription platform now, right? Like you're not just hosting things on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, we have our own subscription platform that we built from the ground up. Correct.
So when did that flip from like putting out free content on YouTube to the monetization program to having your own platform?
So the monetization program came quite early on and we were making money from YouTube. But then for us, it was the subscription side, the Spotify, the Apple Music, everything. So for us, for me, it's just monetize every avenue, even if you're cannibalizing yourself. Because people are like, why do I want to pay for your subscription when it's free on YouTube or whatever it is? I don't care because I don't mind cannibalizing myself as long as there's no competition.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be my own competition.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
That was it. So I just took as many revenue opportunities as possible.
Yeah. So you've been doing this since 2011. At which point did things start getting a little easier?
Maybe 2018 when I took it full time because I was like, okay, I'm all in on this. The other business is gone. Let me grow this and then scale from there. And that's kind of how things have picked up. And for me now, it's just, it gets easier, but it also gets harder because new, as the business evolves, there's new challenges in different areas. So, but I think, I'm glad my team takes care of most of the stuff, the groundwork. It allows me to then evolve and do partnerships and and see the fun side from there. So that's been pretty helpful.
And tell me about your team. How many people are in your team? Are they mostly developers or marketers?
Mostly marketers and film producers and music producers, but most of them are freelancers. I only have 4 people that are permanent in my team. Everyone else is a freelancer.
Amazing. Very envious of this business.
Yeah. So it allows me to scale up and down when I need to. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also just nice to know that you've done it with such a tight team rather than, there's so many startups right now that use hiring people or headcount as a success metric, which honestly to me just sounds like a nightmare. I don't know why anybody would want a 100-person company or a 1,000-person company.
Yeah, it's crazy. Especially you look at, obviously, the 2 vanity metrics are how many people you have and how much you've raised. And I think that it's just ridiculous. That is not a success metric. Your EBITDA is your success metric. That's it.
Yeah. When you think about what your company has done for you in the life that you're living now, how would you describe that?
In one word, I'd say freedom. Freedom to do what I want when I want and buy what I want without having to explain anything to anyone. And I think freedom is priceless. You can be the CEO of a $1 billion company, maybe have, if you're lucky, after dilution. I don't know, 20% left. So you have $200 million. But you have $200 million in stock. And you're going to have to work hard for that exit. You don't have freedom. You don't. So, yeah, for me, freedom.
I mean, do you still work quote unquote full time, or do you kind of choose your own hours? What does a week look like for you?
Yeah, I choose my own hours. I just work. It's my lifestyle. It's integrated into my lifestyle. I just work. What is work? This is passion. Not really work. It's just a game, I guess. I just treat it as a game. I think this is why I'm not probably into playing Xbox or any of that stuff or PlayStation, because
you have life.
This is what I do every day.
Yeah, your life is game.
Yeah, my life is a game. So yeah, that's it. That's how I see it.
What do you think about bootstrapping versus venture capital now that you've had both experiences? And what do you think founders should think about before they go out and raise venture capital?
So me personally, if I was in another situation, I would do everything to try bootstrap and make money. So number one would be that I need to make money. And if not, then I need to have a side hustle that makes money. And then if my side hustle doesn't make money, I need to be a drug dealer so I can make money. And
also a side hustle.
Yeah, exactly. If I fail as a drug dealer, then I'll go raise VC money. So
yeah, it's very low on the totem pole.
Yeah, so that's me personally. And I would say I guess, it depends what type of business. So I would say the first question a founder needs to ask is what lifestyle they want and what type of business you're building. I guess if you're building some, I don't know, a fintech company or anything in the medical field or whatever it is, and you see your revenue opportunity a lot further down the line, then it might make sense for you to raise money. Success in fintech, if you're not a $1 billion company, you're not really that successful because it's all about scale. So then, yeah, maybe you might need to raise money. But I would say try exhaust every opportunity, including selling drugs, then raise money. So that's how I'd look at it, to be honest.
I mean, if you were to start another company today, knowing exactly what you know, what are some of the things that you would do the same, and what are some things that you would do differently?
What are the things I do the same and what I do differently? If I was going to start another company, it depends on what field. It's a really interesting thing because I have no desire to start another company. So I don't know where
this is it.
This is it. Yeah, this is it until exit, and then let's see after that. But what would I do different? It depends. It depends what it is, but whatever it is, I'd probably take the same approach. I'd hire freelancers. I'd try control the process as much as possible. I'd go to market as quickly as possible. I'd iterate as much as I can, and just create revenue streams as quickly as possible, and try to grow with a low marketing budget, and then see from there.
Yeah. Well, I know one fun fact about you is that you've never actually had a pet. So why is that?
I know. Why is that? I think just lifestyle. I guess I have quite a nomadic lifestyle. And I think, once I'm maybe a bit more settled, then I know what dog I want. I've got my eye on it. So I definitely want to have a dog for sure. Because, I do dog sit and I do have dogs in office and all that stuff. And yeah, I think once I could get a dog, but I think right now it'd be very selfish because it'd be purely a PR stunt. So I'd rather people be like, oh,
well, it's almost a PR stunt that you don't have one.
yeah, exactly. So it kind of, I guess, falling in as a PR stunt that I don't have one. But I think it's more just, I know what dog I want, but I don't want to get it for selfish reasons, like most people did during lockdown, and then realize they have a massive regret.
So what is a dog that you have your eye on? What's your favorite?
Toy size Maltipoo, ginger.
That's a nice one.
Red, like little teddy bears. So yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah. One last question for you. What are some final words of wisdom that you want to leave with our listeners today who are bootstrap founders focusing on driving growth and profitability?
Bootstrap founders, I would just say just find as many revenue opportunities as possible. And because I'm 100% founder, it's lonely when you don't have a co-founder. But I think power through, and if it is lonely, just find your tribe to cover that aspect. But because a lot of people, I guess, are on a hunt. I've noticed this in America when I was in Chicago. People aggressively look for a co-founder all the time, but they don't have a reason. They just look for a co-founder because that's what the VCs want. But don't let that, I guess, suck you in. I think just do what you can, create revenue opportunities, even if it's not within your business and it's a different side hustle that's selling on eBay or whatever it is. Just create revenue opportunities because it's a lot harder at the start, but it's so much more worth it in the long run. So just keep the faith, I would say.
Absolutely. Well, also, like once you create one revenue stream, like you're almost addicted to that, right? Like once you know you can, then, your brain starts turning and then there's more and more and more, right? What if this? What if this? But if you never start, if you never get that first $20 in, then you're always just in research and planning mode.
Yeah. And I think also even if your product is not perfect, just get it out there as soon as possible and just have revenue coming in as soon as possible. Because I think once you go through that full life cycle of money coming in versus money going out, there's something that clicks in your head where you've actually created a business now because you have money going in and money going out. As long as it's not VC money going in, because that's not an actual business, like an actual buying customer, then something like, okay, now I just need to scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show today. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to ProfitLed and be notified of new episodes. Head over to our website, ProfitLed.fm, to see the show notes of this episode as well. Amman, how can people connect with you?
LinkedIn, Amman Ahmed. My Instagram, Amman77. RelaxMyDog, RelaxMyCat. Probably Instagram, to be honest, because I get flooded on LinkedIn so much. I just ignore half of the messages. So yeah, my name, Amman77 on Instagram is probably the best way to get hold of me.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time today and taking time to share your wisdom.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to ProfitLed. If you enjoyed this episode, we hope you will subscribe to the ProfitLed podcast and head over to our website, ProfitLed.fm, to see the show notes of every episode. You can also join our mailing list to be notified of new episodes or when we have interesting products and resources to share. We promise to only share things you'll actually care about. Thanks again for listening. Bye now.